So today, as promised, I'm going to talk about how to finance your acting career and how to raise money essentially for your projects, which you're all going to do now that we've been talking about the arsenal. And you've been getting your bespoke coaching. I coach the things you ask about. So it's designer coaching per se. So how to finance the things that you need for your arsenal, the headshot, the audition outfits, the reel, the website, you're choosing your audition material, getting coaching, the whole nine, right? I'm going to answer that question by talking about how you raise money. So the two go hand in hand. Because if you learn how to raise money, you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for that audition for the first CBS pilot principal and you need to buy a $600 suit. Because you're going to already have put together a budget of what you need to make your arsenal sing, and then you're going to purchase those things based on your fundraising campaign. Now, we've been talking about selling both your physical and your emotional type, which means physically, you're always going to look like, for example, I'm always going to look like a Black woman who teaches school. Like when I'm 35, when I'm 95. That's physically and emotionally sort of who I am. It's how I'm built. I know that those two go hand in hand. Cast me as the principal. Cast me as a college professor. I'm going to be great at that at whatever age, right? I'm bubbly, I'm enthusiastic, I believe, I inspire, I'm kind of goofy and artsy. That's my brand, right? You go to my website, I don't have pastel colors and pale greens. I have vibrant magenta, brilliant blues. I even have those vibrant magentas and brilliant blues on now. And my glasses and my crazy colored hair, right? That's my brand. The minute you look at my picture, you know emotionally what I sell. Bubbly inspiration, kind of arty, right? When I know that that's my brand, the first thing I'm going to do is get people excited about my brand. And that includes your parents and your friends. Make them a part of your journey. And the first step to building a brand before you've even done anything is tell people who you are. You do that in your social media. You do that with your beginning starter free website page. You begin to share your hopes, wishes, and dreams with the people that care about you. That's all your social media pages. You can begin a fundraising campaign to raise money for your acting career, which is always what I tell people to do. It's your last year of graduate school. You need to graduate and showcase looking like $10 million. You got your first audition in front of an agent. You need to walk in there looking like the $30,000 a day movie star you want to be. And I often hear from actors, I hear it all the time. Well, how can I start my acting career without going broke? Well, how can I get headshots on a budget? If your friend, who's a very, very gifted artist, takes your headshot and they have no serious credits in this industry as a headshot photographer, you're going to get budget photos. If you go to Forever 21, when you're going in for an audition for a lawyer on primetime, the lawyer on primetime is supposedly making six figures. You're going to be on a TV show that they're paying you, well, let's say your quote is $800 for the day. That means you come, you sit in the makeup chair for an hour, you film for an hour, and you go home. You made $800, right? You're going to get residuals for the next 5 years on that $800, even if it was just a day player, right? By the end of 10 years, that $800 with residual checks will have turned into $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for 2 hours of work. Okay? So when you're paying people that kind of money to be on TV, when an actor walks into the office, they better look like somebody it's worth paying them $700 an hour, $350 an hour. They need to look like a movie star. So budgeting your acting career so you can afford it is living in the dream of who you are right now. And if where you are right now is where you want to end up, then that's how much money you should spend. But if you want to end up on prime time at $18,000, $20,000 an episode, you need to look like the movie star that we're going to pay that to. You need to look like a person who's invested enough money in their look, in their speech, in their training, in their clothing that looks like someone who should be on prime time. Not somebody who was trying to create a budget career and show up at my office. It says you don't know the game that you're entering. You want me to make you a movie star, but you don't know how to show up at the audition looking like one? You look like somebody who spent a little bit of money or got a friend to take your pictures. Always go to the top 10. My dad used to say to me all the time, where do all the presidents of the United States, where do they go to school? It's like, Ivy League, Dad. Why? Because if you want to be a master of the universe, you need to go to school where the masters of the universe went to school. The same is true in any career. Date up. You need to look like the people who are where you want to be. So that's the first thing. So let's throw all this economy stuff out the window. Unless you're happy to continue waiting tables and going to auditions and grabbing an outfit from Forever 21. If you're cool with that, we're good. But if you want to be on primetime, if you want to be in a film, if you want to be in a Tony-winning show, you need to look like a movie star. That's part of the American brand. None of that is impossible. But before we talk about any of that money, the things that you can do now as part of this ultimate goal are research where you need to go. Start interviewing headshot photographers. Not people that got recommended to you by so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. You're going to start looking at playbills. You're going to start looking at movie spreads of people who are on the top 10 television shows. You're going to start looking at headshots of people who are on Broadway, who have Tonys, who are in television shows right now, and look at who paid for who shot those headshots. You're going to look at working New York actors' headshots. People who are on the rise and look like they're about to become movie stars. And then if you don't know who the top 10 photographers are, ask somebody. Okay? My favorite is Joseph Moran Photography. Mostly because his headshots look like a movie still from primetime. Or Hoberman. The headshots look like a still from an independent film. It looks like the photographers captured an acting moment, right? Deborah Lopez is like that. There are lots of top 10 photographers. If you're paying less than $1,000 for your headshots, you're doing budget shopping. Because a $1,500, $1,300 headshot photographer usually will have a makeup artist on standby. They will do different sets and lights. They will make recommendations on clothes. They will have a reshoot policy. You will go into a headshot shoot being treated like a movie star when you are shooting with a movie star photographer. And when you shoot with a photographer who is a top dog, that's a picture you're going to use for 5 to 8 years. And by that time, you will have made that little $1,300 over and over and over again. Or you can go with a cheap photographer and keep taking pictures every 2 years. What's that, $800, $600 every 2 years? Okay, you do the math. That's not economy. Nor is it putting together an arsenal that says, I want to be on prime time as a series regular. I want to come in to the set 4 hours a day and make $3,000 for that day. You want me to give you a job like that? You need to look like somebody who has a job like that. So let's dispense with economy, budgeting and putting together your arsenal. You're a movie star. You wouldn't be doing this hard-ass career of constantly selling yourself if there wasn't something special and magical about you, right? So be good to my friend that I'm talking to and give them the best. So we're going to dispense with all of that I gotta save money crap, right? Done. We're done with that? Okay, great. Something you can do today without money is start researching how much the things that you need are going to cost, right? Goes to the expensive stores and start trying on gorgeous outfits. And you'll figure out there's a couple of designers that are really great for you, right? You're like, I always got to get a Tahari suit. I always got to get a Hugo Boss shirt for my audition. He makes shirts for me. He's in my color palette. And you're going to buy 2 of them. How much is that going to cost? How much of your professional lawyer suit that you're going to need, and then your funky, sporty, casual, I look gorgeous, I just threw on these jeans, and this, I don't know, $6,000 Prada t-shirt, but I just look casual, right? How much is it going to cost? Go dream. Go start shopping and dream. Go start interviewing headshot photographers. Sit across from them and figure out, do they get me? And then look in their books, and don't worry about cost. Look in their books and see who's in their books. And if there's somebody that feels emotionally like you, that means they get you. You're going to get a good headshot, right? So you've put together your budget. Usually, my coach told me you need $10,000 to move to a city, relocate, and put together your arsenal. $10,000 is keeping it safe. You could do it on 5 or 6. So that's your budget. That's nothing. We can do that. The first thing you're going to do once you've started watching these movies and we've talked about your emotional type is you're going to either go to Weebly and build a free website page. And all you need is one main page, right? Or you're going to do it on Facebook, right? Just one page. Doesn't need to have a bunch of other pages. This is the page where people come to find out what you're up to. This is the page where people come to find out why they should believe in you. This is the page where you share your hopes, wishes, and dreams, the art that you love. You create content that affirms who you are as an artist. You get people to join that page, and more importantly, you get people to sign up for your email list. That email list I have been building since the day I graduated from school. I went and got, at that time, the Ross Reports, or its connections now. I got the guide to regional theaters. I wrote down the name of every casting director. I got their mailing address and figured out what time of year they want their headshots mailed to them. And every year I did one major mailing. I stayed in contact with people, right? The email list is more important than a social media page. The email list is where once a month you touch base with these people, right? A lot of times they're going to be friends and family, so they already know a lot about you, but get people excited about you. I love Mary Oliver. I post poetry about her all the time. I love her poem, The Ponds, where she says, I want to remain willing to be dazzled by the world, right? That I just love life. I share pictures and images. I share pictures of actors that I love. I get the people who follow my page as excited about what I do. I get them as excited as I am. That's all, because the things that I believe and dream are fun, because I'm doing this crazy profession, which is absolutely what I love. And when people are doing what they love, they're passionate and they're beautiful, and you want to read more about them. That page that you build, I don't care where you build it, but you use it as a source to begin creating an email list. Start with a brief description of who you are, right? Why you want to do this great thing, short stories and pictures and images. If it's a fan page on Facebook, that's fantastic. It's free, right? If it's a one-pager on Weebly, you can start it as a blog. But make the most important part of this page as you begin to build a mailing list is that you have a place for people to sign up for your email list. Because after continuing to make contact with these people month after month or every 2 weeks or once a week, when it's time for you to do a fundraiser for your career, they're already excited about it. I've had students do this all the time. Oh, well, I want to produce my first play. I want to produce my first show. I don't have any money. Figure out the budget from somebody who's done it successfully. Then lay that budget out. You've already been building an audience, and then you're going to build a fundraising campaign. And the simplest way you can do crowdsourcing if you want, Kickstarter is expensive and they take a whole lot of your money. You can do GoFundMe. I'm graduating from graduate school in 2 months. I need audition outfits and headshots. And you're going to get your list of maybe only 100 people to help you out. Or maybe your Facebook friends. If each one of your Facebook friends gave you $10 towards your goal will be done in 3 days. And I'm not saying this out of like the hoo-hoo. I had a question from Craig, and it is on the blog. He asked me, I recently did a Kickstarter campaign for my play Good Bird Alley, and I raised $100,000 to do 3 workshops with full musicians and to hire composers. So I raised $100,000 in 30 days. Yeah, it was hard. I read everything I could. I interviewed artists who had done it. And the one thing they kept saying to me over and over again, your mailing list are people who've been following your career all along. Social media is important, but really create some images about what it is you want to do, even if you haven't done it yet. Like, I didn't have the play yet, but I was like, I want to write about Afro-Cuban women and dancers and Gullah music. So I just got tons of pictures of that and started sharing it with people who had been curious about my career in the past. And I worked on building up that email list. The key and the secret to raising money ain't social media completely. It is your mailing list. And it is 3 personal letters that you mail to each person in your list. Now, sounds like a pain in the butt, right? 3 letters. The personal letters, the first 2 sentences are all that have to be personal. How are your kids? You want something from somebody? Ask them about how they're doing first. Okay? You've already got investment with these folks that you're writing because you've been sending them information about your world. You've been getting them excited. And people who don't do arts for a living love to know artists, like even if it's just your relatives. 3 personal letters. You can write the letters ahead of time. I suggest Fractured Atlas, which is a great artist organization that allows artists to take advantage and be sponsored by Fractured Atlas, which is a nonprofit organization, which means that everybody that donates to your campaign gets to write that donation off. It costs you about $100 a year to join, but you can have a rolling donation system where you get folks to give you $10 a month towards your acting career. In these 3 letters that you write, folks, you make it personal, ask them about their lives, and then the next part of the letter is a bit of a form letter because you're telling them why you are raising this money. And when you're asking folks for money to support something you believe in, make it real. It's not like, Lulu, I'm just going to go to lunch on your money. I need 2 industry outfits. One needs to be sporty casual. One needs to be a suit. It needs to be a Brooks Brothers. And it's going to cost this much money. This is my budget. I'm producing a play. I need to hire a lead producer to raise the bulk of the money, rent the space. I need to pay them $12,000. Really share your budget with the people you're asking money for so that they can see you're dreaming big. And when you dream big, people want to sign on and help you. It's really not complicated. 3 personal letters, ask them how they are, and then tell them why you'd like them to give you money. It can be a little bit of money. Like I said, if every one of your Facebook friends gave you $10, done deal in 3 days. So you think of it that way. It's really useful. My team, we raised $100,000 in 30 days. We only had 500 supporters. So that means between my 3 co-producers, we knew about 20,000 people in emails, right? 500 of them help us make our budget. And they were 500 people who knew and loved our work that we'd been emailing for years, giving them updates, inviting them to stuff, sharing our challenges, our wishes, our joys, our failures, boy, this was another rough day in the land of an artist. But those people gave us love because we stayed connected to them. So raising the money is easy. Staying the course of this career is what's hard. And that's why I do what I do. And this process of you asking me questions has been I'm getting emotional. It's been so powerful for me because I sit across from artists all the time who feel absolutely powerless, and it makes me ill, right? And like taking care of yourself and arming yourself with your arsenal is just so simple, but the one part of our training that gets lost over and over again. And everybody's walking around like it's some great secret. And it's not. It's not at all. You can do this. I'm living proof. You can do this. Everyone's like, you're not white enough, your features are too black, your butt's too big, you need to stop eating, you should get plastic surgery and buy hair. I'm a working actor, artist, writer, producer by sheer dint of will. So what I teach is what I know. And I teach it because I do it every day, and that's how I know that it works. And I'm always figuring it out as I go, right? I didn't know how to produce independent film. I was like, oh, so we have to do what? And a line producer does what? I ran and read a book and asked a few people and figured it out. And I figured out in this game that somebody needs to start telling us how you survive this, how you make dreams tangible realities. So I've been putting together these videos. I will continue to do so. If you continue going to my page, thedreamunlocked.weebly.com, go to the blog, go to the pages of the videos, you can move through the blogs, and if you comment on any of the blogs, I will respond, and that helps me design something that works for you. The next video I'm going to send out in a few days, I'm going to talk about this class that I'm putting together. It's going to be an online class. We're going to do it via teleseminars, or folks call in with questions. There'll be a basic itinerary, and we'll cover the arsenal. Headshots, resume, reel, press kit, auditions, physical type, emotional type. We'll talk about how to build relationships with managers and agents and casting directors, how to get them, how to raise money step by step. So the class will be a teleseminar once a week, which is basically a lecture, and then I take questions. And then after that, we'll have what we call hot seats, which is basically where you make appointments and call in and talk to me individually about your questions. So that while we're doing this group class, you're still getting one-on-one attention with me helping to shape the specifics of actually what you want to do. Because every artist has a different approach and a different focus. Some folks want to do a web series, which the whole last part of the class will be about that. Some folks want to produce a play, and some folks want to talk to me about short films or feature films and getting them into Sundance. I'm only going to teach you what I know. So the class will be a combination of private coaching and then once a week, a big call-in call. So I'll send you more stuff about the class later, but I'll be able to continue to shape it if you send me questions, right? So look for that new video in the next few days, and I'll outline the class. I'll answer some more of your questions, and then we'll talk about the shape of all the other things that come in the class. There'll be some free coaching that you'll take home with you, some private coaching after the class is over that will be a bonus. You'll also get excerpts from my other classes that are on tape. The Actor in the Business One Day Crash Course, How to Choose a Monologue, the Dirty 30 Warm-Up. So it'll be a complete package, and it's sort of my test in the world to see what you guys need and to get your feedback. So the whole class will be, again, bespoke coaching. You ask me a question, I put that in the itinerary of the class, and then I answer it the next time around. So look for it in the next few days. Send me questions. I'm dying to send you another video. Okay? Take care. Be good to yourself. Bye-bye.